Greetings ladies and gents, welcome to Iberia, I am Wolf. Today we'll be having a look at the top 2 medieval mods for modern Total Wars. Medieval 1100 AD for Rome 2 and Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD for Attila Total War. Which is best? Which is your match? Let's find out. First off, I wish to congratulate the developers of both mods for their amazing work. They've been working hard at creating and crafting a medieval experience into modern Total War. An experience that us, historical Total War players, are sorely lacking. As such, as a community, we need to thank the modders for pouring their hearts and souls into these passion projects. And secondly, I want to express how unfair it is to compare 1100 AD to Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. They are simply in different phases of development, with 1100 AD being a more recent project, and as such it has less development time. But let's start off by talking a little bit about Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD, or MK for short. Medieval Kingdoms is trying to transform Attila into Medieval 2. It's as simple as that. The grim atmosphere of Attila lends itself well for a medieval mod, and the team capitalized on this very well. A population system was added very akin to DEIs, where different units get recruited from your manpower pool that is divided into population classes. There's a supply system as well, so that campaigning outside of your territory needs to be planned. But the really impressive features are, firstly, the Holy Roman Empire with the Elector Princes, allowing the factions to vote on who becomes the Emperor and on certain policies that affect all factions within, and of course the Pope and Papal favor. Medieval Kingdoms also allows factions to enact decisions just like in Paradox games, where you can form an empire, kingdom, or certain factions in fact. It adds certain interesting story events. You can go on a crusade, annex vassals, and their world events. These features bring the game alive and immerse the player into the medieval period, and Attila's politics actually fits the medieval period very nicely. It's not ideal, but it does fit. For me, these are the main selling points of Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. The campaign may feel slower due to the population system, but it isn't much more difficult than vanilla, which makes it perfect for people who are simply looking for a Medieval 3 with about the same difficulty of Attila and with a distinct feel of Medieval 2. And the battles, they're Attila with medieval units. The unit variety is immense and the models look great, but I feel that where this mod really shines is on the campaign. Now let's talk a little bit about Medieval 1100 AD. This mod runs on Total War Rome 2, which for me it's a plus because I prefer it to Attila. 1100 AD is much more familiar to vanilla players as it has yet to add systems such as population, the HRE, the Pope, etc. What it does is that it makes the campaign more difficult and slower as it runs on 12 turns per year, replenishment is punishing, the weather is harsh, public order is not easy, and the AI is aggressive. But to add the medieval flavor to the campaign, the modders overhauled campaign models and the UI with dozens of new icons for tech, traits, and buildings that are colorful and fit the time period perfectly. While we tend to think of the medieval period as dark and gritty, this is far from the truth. The medieval period was bloody, but darn did they like their shiny colors. 1100 AD still hasn't got a lot of playable factions, but all of the map is populated with historically accurate factions and great unit rosters to populate their armies. Most regions can also be liberated into new nations, expanding your alliance possibility list. Overall, I believe the campaign is great for the hardcore players, although I feel as though the mix between public order, weather, and replenishment makes it for a frustrating experience at times. Just watch my last stream. Still, the difficult experience is exactly on point, especially on difficult factions such as the Kingdom of Jerusalem. However, I feel some balancing on those effects needs to happen. I believe that the battles are where 1100 AD really shines. I feel they're amazing. The way the cavalry charges look and feel, the way the units clash and get locked in combat, you truly feel like you're watching a movie where a chaotic battle is taking place. Historically authentic? Not very, but it looks amazing. Combat also isn't over in an instant, allowing the player to simply witness the carnage and spectacle. The models look amazing, out of this world, and the only thing I feel is lacking is a double unit size mod. There is a 1.5 times unit size mod available, but you know, more is better, am I right? So which of these is better for you specifically? As far as historical accuracy goes, both mods do a great job at representing the world on their respective start dates. Sure, certain liberties have to be taken, but for the most part, starting characters and factions are accurate in both mods, and historical accuracy shouldn't be an issue on either mod. If you're a more casual Total War player, you might have a better time playing Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD, especially if you prefer Attila or want to have strong Medieval 2 vibes, as many of the sounds and cutscenes in Medieval Kingdoms are from Medieval 2. The downside really is the number of scripts running in the background, making the poorly optimized Attila even slower, especially on turn times. However, if you don't really care about that nostalgia, you just want to experience the best Total War battles you've ever experienced and want a hardcore slower campaign experience, then 1100 AD is definitely for you. And do you really need the HRE or the Pope to have an immersive medieval experience? Well, I think not. The developers could add the Pope through in-game events, and the HRE, that is currently a single faction, could maybe play with a focus on client kingdoms. All in all, personally, I prefer 1100 AD. I don't need the Pope, population, or the HRE to feel immersed in the world. Plus, the Pope is always screwing me over in Medieval 2, so less Pope is better game. Anyway, I played a Total War franchise for the epic battles and the challenge of the campaign, and that's exactly what 1100 AD offers. But which of these is your favorite? Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD or 1100 AD? Or perhaps you have another favorite medieval mod, such as Medieval Warfare for Attila, that I will definitely cover on a stream in the future. I've never played it, so maybe that will become my favorite. Let me know your preference in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I'll invite you to watch some of my ancient history documentaries in the screen right now. Stay wonderful, I've been Wolf, and I'll see you next time.